John Stewart gives us an exclusive update on the Lockheed-Martin firefight story. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, check this out. Exclusive video for Cosmic Road. Update on the Lockheed-Martin story. So, without further ado, I'll just let John do his thing.
I am also a person who brought forth to the public this crazy story that I was emailed back in December of 2023 concerning, or what people refer to as, the Lockheed firefight story. And I still to this day think the story is not true, that it is crazy, that it does have, though, some elements of truth to it. And I thought the story was dead, basically, and that was good because there were some electronic incursions on my phone that prompted me to come forward, that made me very nervous for myself and my family. And so I was kind of pleased that the story had died down over the past months until this morning. So a person that had requested from a very high-profile whistleblower who is in the public as we speak, requested to have communication with me. And I have been communicating with this other person now for about a month. And this morning, he sent me some information about the Lockheed firefight story. And the Lockheed firefight story, very quickly for those who are not up to speed, is the fact that the Lockheed Corporation received an actual alien craft from the government back in the 60s. They were finally able to get a breakthrough and create their own alien reproduction vehicle that was on par with the actual alien craft. This craft at one point actually went down in Nevada during a flight test in 2004, but the craft was being followed by NORAD and a military black group called JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command, because Lockheed never informed the United States government, who they got funding from, who they had contracts with, that they had developed this alien reproduction vehicle that was on par to an actual alien craft. So JSOC and NORAD thought that this was actually a U.A.P. instead of a Lockheed craft. It goes down in Nevada. Lockheed has its own recovery team, strike recovery team, and JSOC's command descend on this crash site at the same time. None of either team knows of each other, so a firefight ensues, and allegedly, and I still haven't found any veracity to this statement, allegedly 2 JSOC airmen of Asian descent are killed. Crazy story. And I never, blamed anybody. I don't use any names, any specific dates, because I really don't believe the story is true. So here we are today. I get a text from this person that I've been communicating with, and he said, I just want you to know that the Lockheed firefight story is kind of the same story that is in a manual that was sent to DOPSAR, the military department that goes over any kind of book, essay, editorial that a military person would like to disseminate to the public, to make sure that it doesn't contain, in my vernacular, top secret or guarded secrets of the government. And he said that this manuscript called Sentinels of Ether, which is a bizarre title, basically has elements of the Lockheed firefight story in it. And of course, immediately I said, well, okay, I believed 95% that it was untrue and crazy. I did believe that these aerospace companies do have retrieval teams, but I didn't believe that a crash happened and a firefight and whatnot. But he goes on to tell me, and this is why I'm coming forward today also to tell you that it was part of a manuscript, but he says, you have to ask yourself, why was it sent to DOPSAR? DOPSR. Ross Coulthard speaks of this department in the military. Why would this fiction manuscript have to go through military review? First, it must have been written by someone in the military. And secondly, most, he said, not my words, most items that are sent to DOPSR, DOPSR, are based on actual events. DOPSR goes over them, combs through them, sanitizes them, if I could use that word, and then allows them to be disseminated and published by a publishing house, newspaper, so on and so forth. You get the meaning. And he is drawing into this question of, well, why would it have to go to DOPSR? That means somebody in the military created this story. And it's got to go to DOPSR because there are elements of the story that that may be true. So, as soon as I heard this, I thought this was extremely revelatory. I am not trying to sell this Lockheed story as true. I have always championed that a jewel in the crown that I wear as an investigative producer is when I get information, I try and bring it to market as soon as possible. And I'm bringing this to the Cosmic Road as an exclusive today because Cosmic Road, I feel like I'm a franchise player with them. They have been wonderful to me and their viewers. Actually even helping me with my investigation of the alien interview. And I thought this was important to get out. Now, I am going back on the Vetted podcast, the disastrous first interview that I had with the podcast called Vetted. I am going back on, and it'll be shown on the 25th. I am not subverting that interview. I will talk about in more detail about this DOPSR manual and things that have been revealed to me today about the Lockheed firefight. And so I will talk about it if he wants to disseminate what I have been told today. So you might want to check out that podcast also. That's on the 20th.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Vetted podcast yet. The new interview with John Stewart on Vetted. So and I won't have time to do that. I'm going out of town. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff, guys. And of course, Nico, friend of the channel Nico, who did his own independent investigation, was told something very similar to the Lockheed-Martin firefight story. The specific entity wasn't named, the contractor wasn't named, but he did hear about a firefight between a contractor and the government over a downed ARV. So, 2 points of corroboration there. And then we have this book. Now, I've actually talked about this book before in conjunction with Michael Herrera. I don't know who John has been talking to, but this is a book associated with Mike. What is it? What's going on here? This is from a Reddit post talking about the book. If you're familiar with what Tom DeLonge did with his Secret Machine series, this is along the same lines. Now, in the Secret Machine series, Tom is using fiction to get across real information. He can't talk about specific things that are going on, but he can dress it up in the guise of fiction and get away with it, right? And that's the idea. So I guess that's the idea with this book as well. Truth revealed through fiction by someone who is inside the program, with the main purpose of playing some elaborate trickery on the DoD via the DOPSR review process. Michael asked me to include a quote from this person which explains the logic of this, which is at the end of this post. This book was written by a ghostwriter, but in reality was orchestrated by someone who I am told has been working in the program for decades. He and some others in the program, and that's of course the UFO control group, are trying to uncover the secrecy and corruption without compromising themselves. This person has been helping Michael Herrera behind the scenes. Mike flew out to meet him, and he took them to a military base. This is the same person who informed Michael that the containers he saw being loaded onto the UFO were for transporting people. Michael has been saying publicly that he would be given some information to release to the public by an insider. This is that information. And Mike actually sent me some sample chapters of this book prior to our interview. And there was some very alarming stuff in there. Including, execution style murder. So some grisly stuff, very alarming if that is true. And that is also seems to be part of the Lockheed Martin firefight story, as well as I've talked about before. At least one of those gentlemen who died in the firefight didn't simply die in the firefight, but afterwards and was executed according to that version of the story. So yeah, some grim stuff, but definitely another point of corroboration for this Lockheed Martin firefight, and also more possible evidence for the tension that might exist between the public parts of the UFO control group and the private parts, or at least the different factions that may exist within the UFO control group. Because, of course, there's different groups doing different things. I don't think it's the mainstream part of the UFO control group that's peeling faces in Peru. That's somebody else. That's some splinter group or rogue group with some technology, I would think. So, I'm sure there's multiple different factions. Lockheed doing its own thing. Boeing may be doing its own thing. JSOC, or the government and the CIA, everybody may be doing their own thing. We just don't know what's going on behind that particular veil of secrecy. But this is one more point of corroboration for the Lockheed Martin firefight. It's grim stuff. It is grim stuff. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And thank you so much, John, for this exclusive video. And, I appreciate it. And this is a fascinating story. We definitely need to get to the bottom of it. If Lockheed Martin has its own soldiers that have the ability to shoot and kill people on American soil, that's kind of alarming. That's kind of alarming, guys. And, yeah, so we definitely need to know what the truth is of this crazy encounter, and if there are similar encounters, that would be very interesting. How long has this tension been played out? Has this tension always existed? Is this something new? Was this simply a misunderstanding, as it appears on the face value? The government thought it was an actual UFO. They arrive, there's a team there, and they get into a firefight, and maybe there is no tension. There's just a misunderstanding. So, it's hard to know exactly what was going down there. But either way, a really intriguing but also very troubling encounter if this really did happen. And again, this is the third point of corroboration, at least, for this story. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member, because channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.